Good morning, friends. Welcome to the pre-market from the advisory desk. Let me give you just a brief update on the global market checkup. Last overnight, US markets ended 55 points up. That's the Dow Jones. Closed above the 17,000 mark again after falling consecutively for two sessions. Now we have a couple of news flowing in from the US federal government side. That is mixed kind of comments coming in from Janet Yellen, which is making it much more confusing for the oil markets to understand whether she is kind of going to raise the interest rates sooner than expected, because the data that has been coming in from the US market, comparing the kind of labor data or the jobless and the unemployment rate, are kind of favoring that the US economy is definitely on a recovery path. So that has led to kind of worldwide currencies becoming weak against the dollar, because if that does happen, the US kind of would be a major destination that would be coming in kind of more fund flows from the emerging markets to the back to the US markets. So that's one kind of a confusion which is left. Whereas coming back to the Asian indices, it's trading kind of mixed, almost 50 odd points up on the Nikkei, 55 points down on Hang Seng. Not much more movement seen in those markets. SGX Nifty futures down by 6 points right now. Trading the Singapore Nifty, and on the FI figures, they have sold almost a very minuscule quantity yesterday of 10 crores, that's the provisional figures, and on the other side mutual funds are kind of sold shares worth 511 crores. So they were the sellers more on yesterday's fall, which resulted in the market Sensex down by 210 points. Friend, that's all from the global market. Now I'll give it to Sadhana for the derivatives checkup. Thanks.
Good morning, friends. Let's review on derivatives. Extended their southward journey for second day in a row, the benchmark indices closed their session in red in yesterday's trade. As we have seen that sentiments were negative since start of the trade, and many of the counters like Coal India, ITC, BPCL, which were down by 1 to 3% each. Except banking and realty stocks, all other sectors were closed in negative territory. And Nifty finally started session at 8130 levels with a marginal gain of 0.63%. In this period, we have seen that long positions were squared up by market players, as around 6.70 lakh shares were reduced in open interest, approximately 13,000 contracts were reduced, and Nifty futures price decreased by approximately 52 rupees. On the other hand, cost of trade increased by 34% from 8.18% to 11%, and Nifty futures premium also increased from 29 points to 36.60 odd levels. On the options front, PCR has decreased by 2% from 98 to 0.96. In yesterday's trade, we have seen that call option has seen good build-up. Approximately 16 lakh shares were added in open interest. India VIX down was up by 1.33% from 12.76 to 12.93 levels. In the options activity, we have seen that 8,200, 8,300 has added good number of shares in open interest, but on the put option, we have seen that 8,100, 8,200, also 8,000 strike price has reduced its shares in open interest, which can be acting as a negative sign for the market. There are 4 securities in bank period. One is HDL, second is Indian Real Estate, third is IRB, and fourth is JP Associate. Yesterday, FIs were net sellers of 827 crores in DEX futures. They were net buyers of 908 crore in DEX options. They were net sellers of 760 crore in stock futures, and they were net buyers of 16 crore in stock options. Our 5-day CVM stands at 8150. Lower range for the market would be 8100. This might act as a strong support going forward, and higher range would be 8212. Singapore Nifty is down by 3 points, which is at 8128. We may see a flattish start in Nifty futures today. That's it from derivatives. Thank you.
Hello friends, let's have a pre-market action update on the actionable ideas, followed by the news and updates. We'll start with the long positive ideas for today. Cox Kings is the first idea, CNP 300. They are planning to raise almost to the tune of 300 crores, between 3 and 350 crores via QIP route for the next few weeks. Now this is kind of an effort is kind of raised money to retire the debts, which they have to the tune of 4,500 crores on their books. This is definitely a good exercise. Action long Cox Kings, stop loss 294, target 312, 315 on the upside. Next long idea we have is Greaves Cotton at CMP of 135. The Greaves Cotton announced that they have hyped up all the loss-making units such as the infrastructure, casting capacity, and also the engineering unit in Germany. Now these were kind of a non-monetary kind of asset, we can say, which were not generating enough revenues, but they were kind of giving more expenditure terms wise, which would definitely impacted the business and the revenue. Sentimentally positive action, we take long Greaves Cotton, stop loss 132.8, target 140 and 142 on the upside. Short idea for today, we have Sun Pharma. Sun Pharma manufacturing facility in Gujarat is undergoing a surprise US FDA check. Now the move may have been triggered by a number of recent recalls from the foreign markets, which has led kind of the administration to do a surprise visit check whether everything is okay in the facility. Now the outcome would have, could be positive, could be negative. So till now it's a lot of uncertainty left in the stock. Action short Sun Pharma, stop loss 876 and 842 and 835 on the downside. This is a watch list for today. Stock with positive bias intraday. We have Z Limited, Ashok Leyland, we have Can Bank. On the other side, stocks with negative bias, we have Apollo Tyres, HDFC Limited, and PFC. Other news and updates that are surrounding the market and the economy. The Union Cabinet on Wednesday has kind of decided that the disinvestment program would be kicked in. First, they would have the companies which they would kind of go for is ONGC, Coal India, and NHPC. Now, according to the market valuation, the 10% stake sale in Coal India would fetch in almost to the tune of 23,000 crores. They are going for 5% stake sale in ONGC, which will fetch them 13,300 crores. And NHPC, they would fetch almost to the tune of 3,100 crores. Overall, it has been a kind of a good target of 46,000 crores through this investment in PSUs. Now, this will help meet the fiscal health of the government, and they have set a target of fiscal year of 58,000 crores. IFC QIP fixed at around 143.7 per share. It's launched a QIP to raise almost to the tune of 1,000 crores. The board directors of NTPC has approved investment of over kind of 10,000 crore for executing 2 plants. It's in kind of Uttar Pradesh, and the price current value stands at almost 9,200 crores. Has been already sanctioned as declared by the NTPC. SBI has shortlisted almost 9 merchant bankers to sell its shares as a part of its capital raising exercise. That they have to do it on a year basis. Now, it's not sure whether they'll go for the QIP or kind of opt for a QIP or a follow-on public issue of shares on the exchange. Now, the exercise is to kind of raise money to maintain that kind of capital adequacy ratio. The government currently holds 58% stake in SBI, and they have kind of a headroom to raise close to 15,000 crores. It's the largest bank in the public sector, and it has a kind of a maximum kind of positive side on raising 15,000 crores. Indian Oil Corporation signed an MOU with the Uttar Pradesh government to kind of execute the piped domestic gas projects in the state. Now definitely a big jump for the IOC. A joint team would be constituted to the executive of the city gas projects in Allahabad, a major urban center in Uttar Pradesh. It's a big state, and the big opportunities lies with the IOC as well. Thank you, friends. That's all we have. Have a good trading session.